now joined by number 9 ranked UFC and we'll take our first set of questions from Jake Anderson with Kate Side Press.
Hey, how you doing, Neil? We can hear you loud and clear. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you loud and clear.
Good to see you, man. I want to jump right into the thick of things here. Mike Chiesa says this fight might not look pretty. Is that a statement that you're on board with? Is this going to turn into kind of a gritty, grinding fight to see who wants it more?
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's no other way for this fight to play out. I mean, Mike's a tough dude. He's well-rounded. He's good everywhere. So I definitely see this fight being a long, grueling fight, and it comes down to who's better conditioned and who wants it the most.
And, you know, I believe earlier in the week you spoke about making Mike question being in there, and you kind of touched on it, but what's the key to make sure that happens?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this is a very hard fight for me to go out there and kind of lead people in, so to speak, because of how humble of a guy Mike is. So it's just like different cues for me to go out there and motivate myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know how much I can push the pace. I know how durable I am. So the idea is to go out there and just push myself to the point of exhaustion. If I can get myself there, I know for a fact he'll be done or cooked. So at this point, it's just a way for me to motivate myself and know what I'm capable of and going out there and making things happen.
This is one of those fights that feels like it could really produce, you know, a new name for the title picture. And you've defeated 3 former champs in Lawler. Condit was an interim champ. Hendricks. If you get past Mike here, is it well past time we start hearing your name seriously in that title talk?
100%. I mean, I feel like a dominant win over Mike Kiesa puts me right there at the door of the top 5 of my division. So right now, I kind of like the pressure that's on me. I like the pressure being the second main event of 2021. I like the pressure of like, hey, this might get you to the point of being in the top 5. So it's about me go out there and executing at this point. That's what I'm fully aware of, and that's what I want to go out there and do.
And I don't want to say now or never because it's kind of a drastic statement, and you're still only 33, but do you feel like this is the time to really go on a run and take a shot at the belt?
100%. I mean, at this point, I mean, like, who else do I have to blame at this point? I mean, I got myself to the top 5 a couple of times now, and fell short at the top of the division. At this point, I'm like, all right, dude, it is now or never. Like, go out there and make it happen. There's no excuses. There's no holding back. There's no waiting for tomorrow. It's absolutely an opportunity for me to go out there and get things done.
And last one for me, I mean, there was talk of you being the backup if Khamzat or Edwards fell out. Obviously, that didn't happen, but just getting promoted to the main event and having fans back, how special is this moment for you?
That's exciting, man. I mean, it got, like kind of what I was saying earlier, it kind of raises the bar and kind of sets the stage for me to go out there and perform. That's what I fully intend on doing. So I'm definitely excited for it. I mean, I think it's been close to a year now since no fans. I was actually part of one of the last events last March with fans in there. So to be one of the guys to welcome the fans back, I'm super excited for that opportunity, and I definitely won't disappoint those guys.
All right. Well, best of luck this weekend. Or sorry, I should say midweek.
Yeah, midweek, guys getting their morning coffee to tune in.
We'll take our next set of questions from Sumik Data with Sportskeeda.
Hey Neil, welcome back and hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good myself, thank you. So on the back of a very successful 2020, you had 3 impressive wins, and the last one was obviously over a former champion in Robbie Lawler. How would you describe how this past year has turned out to be for yourself, despite everything that's going around?
It's been an amazing year. I mean, especially with the climate that our world is in right now with the whole virus and that kind of thing. 2020 has been a great year for me. I mean, I wish it was a better year for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, I have no complaints with how 2020 has played out for me.
So with your last win, you edged one step closer to surpassing GSP's record. Could you tell us a little bit of what your mindset is and what your goal is coming into this new year and being such a vital part of this tag division?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's just kind of head down to get the work kind of thing. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who suggest like, hey, maybe you need to be more vocal and ask for this and ask for that. But for me, it's just that I need to get back to that grind or that attitude that got me here in the first place. And that's kind of keep my mouth shut, head down, and outworking everyone in my division. So that's exactly what I intend on doing in 2021. And it all starts with Mike Kiesa.
So now you were scheduled to compete in the co-main event of this card initially, but then the initial main event was Leon Edwards versus Khamzat Chimaev. Those two are now scheduled to fight on March, I believe. Would you possibly be interested in fighting any of those guys down the road?
With the climate that we're in right now, I mean, I'm definitely ready for anyone. I mean, if I end up fighting Mike Kiesa in January and Leon Edwards in March, I'm definitely ready for that. So I'm not going to put anything too far ahead. Right now, I'm definitely focused on Mike Kiesa, but if something opens up down the road to fight Leon Edwards, I'm 100% jumping on it.
Okay, and just before I let you go, I believe this is your first time on the Fight Island. I just wanted to get your experience on the island so far in general and what the hospitality has been like so far.
The island itself is great. I mean, especially the hotel, they've been taking great care of us. They've been making us very comfortable with what we have, but not being able to explore the island fully and being kind of secluded or locked down just to the hotel, it's kind of boring. But overall, it's been the hotel's been a great host. They did the best they could for the circumstance we're put on right now. So it's been an amazing trip thus far, even though I'm not able to go outside of certain ranges around the hotel.
Well, I wish you all the best for your fight midweek, and I look forward to the fight itself.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We'll take our next set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, Neil. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
I was wondering, can you walk me through the turn of events, getting the call that Edwards and Hamzat was off and that you were going to be, promoted to the main event, 2 more rounds, etc.?
Honestly, it was kind of all up in the air. I mean, ever since December or late November, December timeframe, there was an idea of like, hey, maybe we'll have Neil be a backup for Leon versus Kamzat kind of thing. So I was kind of in my mind and physically already training for 5 rounds. And then just a series of events that started taking place. I mean, the fight fell through for December 19th. They decided to reschedule it for January 20th. And it fell through yet again. So at that point, I was in a position where I was like, okay, I either start campaigning to fight Leon Edwards or I just keep my fight with Mike Kiesa and see what happens then. I chose to not campaign for the fight with Leon Edwards and just stick with the fight with Mike Kiesa. Because I didn't want for one of us to lose out an opportunity to try to cater to Leon Edwards. So I just decided to stick with the fight that I have and make the best of it.
What kind of stuff do you do when I guess not the adjustment 3 to 5, but I guess, when you have all of that up in the air, how do you focus on your training and everything? Because at first you're thinking about maybe being a backup, but then you might have your own opponent. So how do you sort all that out in training?
So at the end of the day, I think that actually helped me because when it comes down to this fight with Mike Kiesa, it's to be less about what he does or less about what he's capable of, but more about what I'm going to go out there and do. So it's about my output, my pace, my fight, and being able to prepare for this fight with that mindset. It kind of helped me. I mean, I was in a position where I was juggling the possibility of fighting 3 guys from 3 rounds to 5 rounds. So during my training camp early on, I was kind of just up in the air with whom I was training with and that kind of thing. Once I got the contract and Kiesa was locked in, my coaches and I made the shift. We got the best training partners we can find in order to give me the best looks for my Kiesa, and I feel like I'm 100% ready, prepared to go out there and dominate.
My final question, a lot of people were very hyped about Kevin Holland last year, fighting 5 times. You're a guy who tends to keep that kind of schedule, though. Typically, Neil, can I ask, this is obviously happening early January. Is that one of your goals? Do you want to see if you can hit that 5 or 6 fights a year mark in 2021?
Yeah, I mean, I like the way you think. I mean, the fact that I'm one of 3 guys that to do it, including Kevin Holland and Roger Huerta, I'm definitely excited to and it's this competitive side of me, hey, you know what? Can we do it? Make it 6? And fighting in early January, it definitely gives you an opportunity to go out there and do just that. I mean, my division is kind of up in the air right now as far as how the next couple of fights in the top 5 are going to play out. So if I need to fight number 7 through 1 to get my title shot, I'm ready and able to do that. And 2021 is definitely a year I can get that done.
Hey, thank you, Neil. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Cote Cruz with For the Win podcast.
Cool.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for your time, sir. Well, Dana said that both of you were deserving of this main event spot. Do you think this has an extra effect on the way you and Mike will approach this fight? Does it work as extra motivation to get a nod from the boss?
No, at the end of the day, I mean, it's no mystery how he fights or how I fight. I mean, we both are 7-8 year veterans with the company at this point, so there's definitely no surprise to how either one of us fight. The fact that it's going to be 2 extra rounds, I feel like just plays into both of our skill sets and game plans. So it's going to really come down to being who wants it the most and who's the better conditioned athlete.
Well, in that regard, your gas tank is undeniable. You even threw your name in the hat for a short notice fight, 5-rounder back in December. Do you think this will play as an advantage for you against Kiesa?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're facing an advantage against anyone. It's just the team that I have around me. I mean, I have the best training partners, the best coaches, and we just have a great environment. So whether it's Mike Kiesa or Gilbert Burns, whomever is standing across the cage from me, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to dominate.
Well, who do you think is the best grappler between you two, between you and Mike?
I guess we'll have to find out. I mean, at this point, I definitely believe I am, but when Wednesday rolls around, we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, that's something I look forward to see. I heard you were looking to cause some sort of identity crisis on Mike Kiesa by applying a relentless pace during the fight to rough him up in a way that he misses the desk and the commentating gig. Is this the game plan for your fight? Heavy, intense pace and a great output against him?
100%. I mean, that's my game plan every single time, to get out there and just get in my opponent's face. So against Mike Kiesa, it's going to be no different. I mean, the only difference is he's kind of a nice guy, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of talk crap, so to speak, to get myself hyped up. So I had to find a way to motivate myself. And the way I've been doing that is to just set the bar high for myself. Let myself know what's expected of me and go out there and get it done.
What do you think a win over Kiesa would do for your career at this stage?
At this point in my career and with rankings and that kind of thing, I definitely feel a dominant win over Mike Kiesa puts him right there, knocking at the door of the top 5 in my division.
Well, I'm going to shift gears for a while now. Your teammate Drew Dover has a big fight coming up against Islam Makhachev. How do you see that one playing out?
Great. As that fight working out great for Drew Dover. I mean, the crazy thing about Drew is he's been preparing so well to face guys who are strong grapplers since his fight with Daniel Vanille. And I think a lot of people are being surprised to see how well Drew handles his next fight.
How's working with Tiki Gossin as your manager? Do you think it's an advantage to be managed by a former fighter?
So far it's been working out great. I mean, he has a pretty good relationship with UFC, myself as well. So worked with a guy that kind of knows his way around the ring, so to speak, has been working out great for me.
Final question from me. What are your goals for 2021 after such a hectic and difficult 2020?
Champion. That's literally my mindset for 2021. I mean, the goal for this sport, for my career, is to go out there and become a UFC champion. So the 2021 is the year to make it happen for me. I'm doing everything with my power to get it done.
Well, I'm really hoping to see you fight. Best of luck on your fight, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We'll take our last set of questions from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA.
Hi Neil, I just want to get your thoughts on Kiesa's run at welterweight. Obviously, he's pretty new to the division. 3 fights, 3 wins. What have you made of his run at 170?
The guy's doing great so far. He's currently undefeated in division. We had 2 similar opponents. He finished one guy who I fought and couldn't finish, and he beat the other guy who beat me. So his skill sets is definitely there. His ability to hang with the guys at welterweight is definitely there. So I'm definitely up and ready for the challenge at this point.
And in terms of size, do you think he's well matched for this division? Obviously, you're one of the bigger guys at 170. How do you think he stacks up against, the top tier guys?
I think he does great. I mean, surprisingly, a lot of these guys who fight at 155, they're bigger than some of the welterweights. And with Mike Kiesa, I think it's no different. I mean, the guy gets over 200 pounds, where I have to struggle to maintain weight throughout training camp. So as far as size is concerned, I definitely feel like he's able to hang with some of the biggest guys in the division.
And I just want to go back to last year. There was a moment where Khamzat Chimaev was calling out everyone in the division, and no one really seemed to be putting the hand up besides you. And then it seems like the fight that's destined to be, and for some reason it doesn't happen. Can you just talk us through, what happened there and why you weren't the guy who got the call to fight Khamzat and Liam was the one who ended up with it?
I'm not saying I have all the answers, but if it looks like a duck, sounds like it's probably a duck. I mean, this guy goes on every opportunity and says he's willing to fight everyone. And every opportunity I threw my name in the hat, and he's like, "Oh, anyone else? Not Neil, anyone else?" So he got his way. So I'm not gonna necessarily say it's intimidation or fear or anything like that, but it kind of looks like a duck to me.
Yeah, because from us outside, you could kind of understand that. Maybe Edwardson is more capable of carrying a main event, but then obviously the UFC think you're capable of carrying a main event as well. So it's not that. Is it just you think it's all down to the fighter and not on the UFC side of things?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, to be honest with, if I'm being honest with myself and everything else like that, I mean, the guy works with a great manager. I mean, Ali's not going to let his guys go out there and take any unnecessary risk. And if I'm being honest, like that's exactly what it was for Khamzat. He's like a golden egg right now. So to go out there and get that thing shattered against me is something that his manager doesn't want. So if he can take a risk against a guy who's ranked a little bit higher, then 100%, why wouldn't you? I mean, I can't fault the guy for that.
Okay, well, thanks for asking me questions. Good luck with Fight Night.
Cool, appreciate it. Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Neil. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Up next, we'll be joined by UFC welterweight Mounir Lazzez. We're now joined by UFC welterweight Mounir Lazzez, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, Mounir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Can I ask, you obviously had a lot of hype, and then you have such a great UFC debut last summer. How has life changed? I'm assuming you get a lot more attention from fans and media.
Nothing changing for me, the media and the fun and this, it's always extra. I keep myself same work, hard work, smart work, and that's, that's exactly what I do.
Can you talk about getting the phone call to fight Warlley Alves on short notice? How much were you training prior to getting the call?
I always train all year, all around, I'm an athlete. I'm not just a fighter. So when I get the call, I was active. So that's how it is. I told the UFC I'm here 1 hour away from Abu Dhabi. So just ring me anytime. So when they get one spot for me, someone injury or something like that, I don't know. So I just told them just send the contract. I'm ready to go.
I know your last fight was canceled because you tested positive for COVID. Can I ask, what was your experience? Did you have a lot of symptoms compared to other people? What was it for you?
Yes, I was getting ready for a fight, and I was in low fat percent in my body, so my immune system was low. I get strong symptoms, but when I recovered fully from it, everything it's gone, and I'm normal, and I recovered fully, and I feel better now actually after taking that 2 or 3 weeks off in October.
That's great to hear. My final question, just what are your thoughts on Warlley Alves as an opponent?
He's a good fighter. He's a well-rounded fighter as me. So expecting firework on Wednesday night.
Thank you, Mounir. Good luck.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jay Anderson with Stateside Press.
Hey, Mounir, welcome back. If there was any downside to your debut, it was probably the lack of fans. So how exciting is it to have at least some of them back in the building for this fight?
Yeah, I'm excited and pumped to show my skill here, to compete in front of my people. You know what? Every day I get messages, people, they got ticket, to watch my fight live here in the Octagon. But I don't want to let this pressure me or put stress in me or to perform. The mission is same, calm, compose, go deliver the win.
And I know you say that the mission is the same and you'll be calm and composed, but do you feed off the energy of the crowd during the fight? Can that kind of give you a rush, pick you up a little?
No, not actually. It's same for me, fun or without fun. I'm used for both. I compete here in Dubai and Abu Dhabi maybe 5-6 times main event in front of my people, like full arena. So nothing changed for me, or empty like last time. So I'm fine with the both.
And Warlley Alves has been in the UFC since 2014. He won Tough Brazil 3. In deciding to take this fight on short notice, did you see something in his game that you can exploit, something that's going to give you an edge here?
Yes, and all expect the game. This is who is ready in that 15 minutes. It's not about who is have more experience before on his resume or profile. So that's what I can tell you in my own experience. So I'm calm, composed. I have my plan game with the team. We work hard, smart. Like I told you, I'm ready all year, all around. So we have good plan to make a good result on Wednesday night.
All right, well, looking forward to Wednesday. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
We'll take our last set of questions from Corey with UFC.com.
Can you still just look at the camera though when you answer? Thank you so much. What's been the most significant thing that you've taken away from this training?
Nothing actually, just was more like short, more how I call it, like quality training, more sparring, more how I call it, mind game, and the details we work in it. So I used to train 2 times per day. Now sometimes we go one hard in the morning and we slow evening like this. The coaches they was following up with me 24 hours. They don't want me to do 3 sessions or something like that because they know I'm obsessed in the training. So they keep me calm, composed because they know I'm ready since I get the call. I never stop training. I'm active guy, so they just want to make sure that I don't burn myself in that 2 weeks because I'm ready to go since I get the call. So that's the thing. We just work at smarter, more quality for this bout.
And what do you think is going to go through your head as you make the walk on Wednesday night?
Victory.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Mounir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll be joined by number 9 ranked women's flyweight Viviane Araujo. We are now joined by number 9 ranked women's flyweight Viviane Araujo, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, Viviane. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Thank you.
This is your first time to Fight Island, if I'm not mistaken. How are you enjoying the experience so far?
É a sua primeira vez aqui na Ilha da Luta, como é que você está gostando?
Sim, na Ilha da Luta é a primeira vez, né? Eu já estive aqui em Abu Dhabi em 2014, enquanto eu competia só jiu-jitsu, mundial de jiu-jitsu. Então é a minha segunda vez aqui em Abu Dhabi, então estou muito feliz aí por estar aqui a segunda vez. E estou vindo muito bem preparada também, estou gostando muito do lugar, do ambiente. Onde a gente está aqui é sensacional. A recepção também, a receptividade das pessoas é incrível, então estou gostando muito.
It's my first time here on Fight Island. I've been to Abu Dhabi before. I was here in 2014 competing in jiu-jitsu, and I'm happy to be back. And the whole infrastructure is great. Everything here is great. The reception and the hospitality is great, so I'm happy to be here.
Did it affect your training at all that they moved the fight 10 days earlier than what was originally scheduled?
Afetou seu treinamento terem mudado a luta 10 dias antes?
Não afetou. A gente já tinha recebido a luta, né, um pouco antes, então o treinamento continuou, o estudo da adversária também continuou e não afetou em nada, não.
No, it didn't affect me. We were already training. We already knew about the fight, so studying the tapes and everything, it really didn't affect me.
What are your thoughts on Roxanne Modafferi as an opponent?
O que você acha dela como adversária?
É uma adversária bastante experiente, né? A gente estudou bastante o jogo dela ali. A gente sabe que ela é uma atleta dura, uma atleta aguerrida que busca a luta o tempo todo. Então a gente está vindo preparada para essa luta. E assim, a gente sabe que ela gosta muito do jogo de solo, né? Ali é um ponto forte dela. E a gente está vindo com algumas armas aí para anular esse jogo dela.
We know that she's a very experienced opponent. She's a very tough opponent. And we know that she likes to use her ground game. So we've built up a game plan around that to be able to take her out.
My final question, looking ahead to this year, what would you consider to be a great 2021 for you?
Como é que você considera que seria um bom ano de 2021 para você?
Já está começando de uma forma bastante maravilhosa para mim, né? Tá aqui na Ilha da Luta é o sonho de qualquer lutador tá aqui. Então a gente já começa o ano muito bem e eu espero fazer aí umas 3, 4 lutas esse ano ainda e subindo na categoria.
It's a wonderful start for the year for me, being here on Fight Island and being able to fight, and I hope to fight, 3 or 4 times this year.
Thank you, Viviane. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA.
Viviane, the crowds are going to be back on Fight Island now, so I just want to get your thoughts on that and how you found fighting with no crowds last year and how excited you are to have the crowd back.
Os fãs vão estar de volta. Você lutou no passado sem público, né? Como é que você está animada de ver gente?
Sim, estou muito animada, né? Com essa energia do público aí. Eu lutei ano passado sem o público, não me afetou muito, né? Porque eu já lutei no Japão e o público japonês, ele é um pouco mais contido, né? E foi parecido quando eu lutei sem o público ano passado. Mas com a energia da galera, acho que nós lutadores, a gente consegue transmitir um pouco mais de energia também, né? Retribuir essa energia dando o máximo lá dentro do Octagon.
Yeah, I'm excited to have that energy of the crowd back. I fought last year without any fans in attendance, and it wasn't really a problem for me. It reminded me of fighting in Japan where the fans are a bit more reserved, but, having the energy and being able to trade that energy with the fans is going to be great.
Okay, and Roxanne, obviously she's one of the top girls in the division. Where does a win over her put you in terms of, you know, closing in on a title shot?
Ela é uma das top da categoria, uma vitória, onde que te colocam?
Então, com a vitória, a gente já, com certeza ali, já pede uma top 5, né? Que é o nosso objetivo, é estar entre as 5 esse ano. Então, mais 100% agora é o foco na Roxanne e em seguida mirar uma top 5.
I think a win over her, you know, we'll be asking for a top 5 opponent next, and that's our goal for this year, to be in the top 5. But I'm just focused 100% on Roxanne right now.
Okay, thanks for your time.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jay Anderson with Stateside Press.
Thanks very much, Viviane. This is your 5th fight in the UFC. Were you a little surprised to get a name as big as Roxanne Modafferi, who's been around in the sport for so long, coming off the win over Montana?
Você ficou surpresa de ter name com nome tão grande na sua 5ª luta no UFC?
Sim, com certeza. Ali já na minha segunda luta do UFC, eu já peguei uma atleta muito bem renomada, né, a Alex Davis. Então, pegar agora a Roxanne, eu fico muito honrada, né, por estar fazendo parte aí do top 10. Então, frutos de muito trabalho, muita dedicação. E eu vou dar o meu 100% lá dia 20. Então, é isso.
Yeah, for sure. In my 2nd fight in the UFC, I already got a pretty tough opponent in Alexis Davis. And, you know, just to be able to fight and be among the top 10, it really motivates me to go out there. And I'm really excited to fight on the 20th.
And I spoke with Roxy a few weeks ago. She said she's ready wherever the fight goes. I know you talked about her ground game, but do you think she might try to test your striking?
Ela falou que está pronta para qualquer lugar. Você falou do chão dela, mas você acha que ela vai tentar usar a trocação?
Ela pode tentar usar a trocação. Pelo que a gente estudou dela, ela vem melhorando a trocação, mas é algo que ainda eu sinto que eu vou estar confortável na luta ali, que é o jogo em cima, né, a trocação. E eu creio que ela vai querer sim me colocar para baixo, fazer um jogo de chão. E eu vou estar muito bem preparada, porque eu também sou faixa preta de jiu-jitsu. Venho afiando muito meu jiu-jitsu e tô doida para mostrar na organização que eu ainda não mostrei, né, o meu potencial no chão.
Yeah, I think she might try to strike with me. From what we've seen, she's improved a lot in her striking. But, you know, ultimately, I think she's going to try to take me down. And I'm also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so it's going to be good to be able to show my ground game, which I haven't been able to show in the UFC.
And last one for me, does it feel a little strange to be fighting on a Wednesday here?
É estranho lutar numa quarta-feira.
É estranho. Sim.
Yeah, it's weird.
Definitely. Well, best of luck on Wednesday.
Boa sorte.
Thank you.
We'll take our last set of questions from Corey with UFC.com.
Can you still just look in the camera there when you respond?
Fico olhando.
So Roxy has more than 40 professional fights under her belt. Do you think her experience is going to play a factor in the fight, or do you try not to worry about it?
Ela tem 40 lutas no cartão. Você acha que a experiência dela vai ser fator na luta?
Pelo fato dela ser muito experiente, eu creio que ela vai querer dar tudo de si ali, mas eu estou vendo muito bem preparada. E vai ser uma luta bastante interessante, uma luta intensa. E eu vou para cima, mostrando a minha agressividade de sempre.
Due to the fact that she's very experienced, I think she's going to give her all in there. But, you know, I'm going to show her that I'm really prepared and I'm ready to go in there.
Okay, and last question for me is, you know, in preparing for this fight, what would you say is the most significant thing that you've taken away from training?
Se preparando para essa luta, o que você acha que foi o mais importante que você tirou nesse camp?
Com certeza ali foi a minha evolução no chão, né? Minha evolução no jiu-jitsu, eu aperfeiçoei bastante, várias transições ali para finalização. E o meu jogo em pé também, né? Tudo, a minha mentalidade também é outra, o meu foco é outra, a minha motivação vem aumentando a cada luta que eu faço no UFC. Então, é isso.
I think in this camp was definitely improving my jiu-jitsu. I think I worked on a lot of good transitions that I needed. And also my striking and my mindset and my motivation. I think everything's on point.
Awesome. Thank you. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Viviane. Thank you.
Thank you. Aqui.
Acho que tem aqui mesmo. Thank you.
Up next, we will be joined by UFC featherweight Douglas Silva. We are now joined by UFC featherweight Douglas Silva, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, Douglas. How are you?
Como é que você tá? Tudo bem? Everything's good.
Douglas, it's been a long layoff for you. How does it feel to finally be back within a few days of a fight?
Faz muito tempo que você não luta. Como é que você está se sentindo há poucos dias da sua luta?
Estamos se sentindo super bem, tá tudo tranquilo. Uma caminhada que foi super ótima, o camp, todo mundo lá na usina de campeões. Né? E agora estamos aí aguardando, estamos na reta final de trabalhar o peso, tirar o peso. Estamos aguardando só a guerra vir aí.
You know, I feel really good. I trained in the Pedro Rizzo in Rio. And now just cut the weight and come Wednesday to make a show. Make a good show for the people.
When you've been out so long without being able to fight, what is your priority when you're in the gym? Is it just staying in shape? Do you try to work on learning new stuff? What's important to you in the gym?
Nesse tempo que tu ficou afastado, qual foi a importância de tu estar no gym? O que tu fazia nesse tempo afastado?
A gente fazia sempre o treino, mantendo o treino, mas ficava ali fazendo umas coisas com a família e tudo, mas não deixava de fazer o treino, né? Com essa quarentena também foi o que foi esse ano aí, esse Covid aí. E a gente foi tentando se esquivar, se desdobrar e sempre mantendo, até que agora, graças a Deus, deu para conciliar aí já a nova guerra, já tá certo para a data aí, vamos com tudo.
You know, because COVID was a bad last year, you know, he wanna take care of his family, but he always keep in shape, he always train, and now he focused for Wednesday, because he gonna knock out his opponent, because the people cannot forget, he has 26 wins and just 3 defeats, and he beat the last time the former champion, and now put new guys to him fight, he gonna knock out the guy, and he really wanna top 10 for the next time.
Well, certainly you sound very motivated. My final question, just what are your thoughts on Lerone Murphy as an opponent?
Então, você está me parecendo muito motivado. Qual é o que você está pensando do seu próximo adversário? O que você pensa dele?
Cara, na verdade a gente tá super feliz, né? Que bom, graças a Deus aí, que tá tudo dando certo. A gente só quer ir pra cima, só quer arriscar, só quer botar pra nocautear. Eu vou pra pegar ele, depois eu quero um outro já, um mais de top, um ranqueado, enfim, estamos aí pra isso. Super feliz, cara.
You know, I'm very happy right now. You know, I go very motivated to I have a motivation to knock out Jeremy, my next opponent. I'm very motivated to knock out my next opponent, and I really think about the next one, because I really wanted the top 5. top 10. But I'm very happy right now with this fight.
Thank you, Douglas. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, Douglas. Boa sorte.
We'll take our last set of questions from Corey with UFC.com.
Hi, Douglas. I'm sitting right here. Can you just tell me you're still looking at the camera, though?
Continua olhando para a câmera.
So can you just tell us a little bit about what your experience has been like so far on Fight Island?
Como é que está sendo a tua experiência aqui na Ilha da Luta, na Fight Island?
Pô, é surpreendente, né? Que é fantástico, uma energia super boa, alto astral bom demais aí, né? De toda a equipe aí, o UFC, um excelente trabalho aí com a gente. Cara, só gratidão, um negócio muito bom.
You know that the Fight Island is wonderful. You really happy to be here. The UFC give the best treatment to him and his team, and very motivated for the fight. You know what I mean? This is his point. He's very happy, and he's very thankful for what UFC do it for him.
You're going up against someone with an undefeated record. Does that give you any more motivation to kind of give someone their first loss, or do you not think about that?
Tu vai lutar com um cara que nunca perdeu antes. Tu tá motivado a dar a primeira derrota para ele?
Essa é a sensação melhor, né? Esse é o prazer melhor da coisa, né? O Ultimate sempre colocou aí os oponentes aí duros, bons, e não deixa de ser mais um aí. Isso que motiva, isso que é melhor, isso que dá outro sabor aí. Bom.
You know, I'm very happy. This is what gave me motivation. Because I'm gonna beat the undefeated guy. You know what I mean? You know what make me really happy? Give the first loss for him. You know what I mean? The last time I beat the former champion, now UFC put me a new guy. Okay, I'm gonna knock out him and I want the top 10 in the next time. Because I beat the former champion. I want a more tough opponent. And I'm very happy to give this guy his first defeat.
And then lastly for me is, what do you think is going to go through your head as you make your walk on?
O que vai na tua cabeça quando você estiver andando para o Octagon na próxima quarta-feira?
Ah, só coisa boa, a gente só quer fazer o nosso trabalho, só alegria, poder dar um show para os telespectadores aí, entendeu? E é isso, ir pra guerra, é isso que a gente faz, é isso que nos mantém vivos, motivados. Só isso.
You know, I'm very happy when I walking to the Octagon. This is what make me happy. This is my motivation for life. You know what I mean? This is what make my life, my life strong. This is what make me happy. And you know, I go there to knock out him. I'm focused to give a great show for the people, and the people not forgot my name. I'm gonna make my statement. I am the fighter. I have 26 won and 3 lost. I won after this fight. I don't want a more new guy. I want a top 10, top 5 in my next fight.
Awesome. That's it for me. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Have anything? It's all good?
That's all we have for you today, Douglas. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll be joined by UFC welterweight Warlley Alves. We're now joined by UFC welterweight Warlley Alves, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, Warlley. How are you?
How are you, man? Hello.
So, been a minute since we've seen you. Can you describe the emotions to be back, a few days from a fight?
Yes, man. I feel so happy because this is my work. This is my job. This is my dream. I dream every my life fighting UFC. This is real for me. Yeah, I'm so
Excited.
Excited. I need translate. My English is very, very bad. I try, but I need translate anytime.
You're doing great, man.
Yes, I'm feel great. Yes, I'm feel great. I'm feel prepared for this place, this time, this fight.
When you haven't had a fight in a while, what do you focus on in the gym? Is it about just staying in shape until you get somebody, or are you trying to learn new stuff?
Wait a minute. I need to just.
Quando você não luta há um tempo, o que você foca na academia? Ficar em shape? Ou...
Assim, I romped my biceps and I need 6 months for back to the training. And I respect my doctor. He say no training. I'm stay here. And same thing. And same time I have pandemic. And I just play video game. Good, eat good good food, because I'm back very, very fat, and I stay relaxed with this. And 6 months, passando 6 meses.
6 months later.
6 months later, I'm back to the training, focusing next fight. I need fighting. I love fighting. In 6 months training, it's true, 8 months training for this fight. I feel so happy because I want to go Fight Island. This is real for me today.
My final question, can you discuss what it was like to change opponents from Christian to Mounir Lazzez?
Como é que foi a mudar de adversário?
Just height, because one, eu não sei como é que fala não sei quantos feet ele tem.
Fala, one is, fala em centímetros.
One have 175, outro Lazzez have 185 centimeters. This is the only difference, because every guy's strikers, every guy's power strikers, very good, very good, talented, humbles. But I'm ready for this is fight of my life. I'm ready for this fight.
Thank you, Warlley. Good luck.
Thank you, man. Have a great day.
We'll take our final questions from Corey with UFC.com.
Acho que eu devo tentar seguir.
Só tu me olhar quando tu achar que vai
porque assim.
I'll be asking the next set of questions. Can you still look in the camera?
Ele vai fazer a pergunta, mas fica olhando na câmera.
Okay. You say.
Yeah, but just go ahead and look in the camera.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So, what do you think of Fight?
It's amazing. It's amazing place. It's a beautiful place. It's como é que se fala cuidado?
Well taken care of.
well taken care of with athletes and many things different in the room. I feel so great is fighting here because really is emotional. You coming for work and you in your room. Wow. My name is spelled here. Is every carry, yes.
Every little thing carry.
Every little thing. I'm feel. Como é que se fala? Faço me sentir valioso.
Makes me feel valued.
Make me feel valued. Just there, feel so valued.
So it's been over a year since your last fight. How important is it for you to go out there and make a statement?
Tem mais de ano que você não luta. É importante você entrar lá e deixar recado agora.
Yes, I'm back. This is a message. I'm back because 1 year stop for me is very broken my plans for future. But I'm back today. I'm back in fight 20. Just there. I'm back. This is a message.
And what kind of fight do you think are you expecting on Wednesday?
Que tipo de luta você está esperando, claro?
I'm really happy for this because he's strong man, he's fast man, he's have one fight in UFC, but he's have a good guy. Ele is very strong. I hope this is a show. I hope show. This is a show time. Is because. São dois strikers two strikers and our world watching this fight say, wow, this is possibility, this the best fight of the year.
And then lastly for me is, after your layoff, what do you think is going to go through your head right before you make the walk out to the Octagon?
Depois de ficar tempo fora, o que vai estar passando na tua cabeça quando estiver entrando lá?
This is a party, my party. This is my head think every time. I feel so great, God. I thank you, God, for this. I thank you, my team. This is exciting for me. It's emotional for me because I'm back. 1 year stop, I'm back. Really, I'm back.
Awesome. That's it for me. Good luck on Wednesday night.
Thank you, my friend.
That's all we have for you today, Warlley. Thank you.
Obrigado. Beijo, Carol. Conheci tua voz.
Up next, we will be joined by UFC light heavyweight Ike Villanueva. We're now joined by UFC light heavyweight Ike Villanueva, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with K-Side Press.
Hello, Ike. How are you?
Oh, man, doing good, man. Still trying to get adjusted out here in Abu Dhabi, but so far, so good.
I mean, yeah, first trip to Fight Island. I'm sure you've heard everybody and their mom talking about how hospitable they are and everything. How's the experience lived up to your expectations?
It's incredible. Well, man, the way they're treating us out here, it's like, it's amazing. I mean, it's been like top notch. It's a 5-star hotel. It's beautiful. Just the scenery all together, man. It's been great so far, man.
Now, so far in the UFC, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have not had the experience of fans for either of your fights, right?
Yeah, yes, sir, man. No fans at all, man. So I'm excited for this opportunity to, come out with the crowd. I feed off that, so I'm looking to turn some things around come Wednesday night.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, you're going to have the crowd back. I mean, obviously it's a big deal for any fighter to get to the UFC, you know, and the big show and everything. Because you haven't had that fan experience, does it feel like you're finally going to get that, I guess, that whole thing, that whole part of it that you've been waiting for, because now finally there will be a crowd for a UFC fight for you?
Oh, no doubt, man. I look forward to it. It's like, man, yeah, you have dreams about stuff like this, man. You the arena, all the lights, man. You want everybody to see you, man. So I know everybody worldwide be watching. You know, man, just having the crowd there, it's amazing. You know, I'm excited.
My final question, just your thoughts on Vinicius Moreira as an opponent and how you think this fight plays out.
Man, he had a rough start, 0-3. I mean, this is a classic, grappler versus striker. I know the game plan. He probably knows the game plan. I know what he's going to do, try to take me down. Hey, man, my job is to stop it and put my hands in his face. I look forward to doing that, get my hand raised at the end of the night Wednesday. So, hey, it's going to be a crowd-pleasing fight, man. I'm not going to let the crowd down. I'm going to put on the show. That's what I do. And time to make a statement. I belong here. I got to show the world I belong here Wednesday night.
Okay, thank you, Ike. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA.
Hi, Ike. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing tonight, brother?
Good. So I just want to get your thoughts on 2020. Obviously, it was a good year in that you signed to the UFC and you're back on you're on the big show. But in the cage, it didn't actually go your way. So when you look back at 2020, how do you view it?
Man, flush that down the toilet, man. Forget about that year. Flush it. It was just garbage. It wasn't me. Hey, as a fighter, you got to shake that thing off, man. You can't let it hold you down because some fighters, it'll haunt them. And I had to wash it away because I know I ain't that fighter. I took a short notice fight against Chase Sherman. I had to. I got in the door. Chase Sherman tested positive. Hey, man, so no contest. George Gonzalez, another opponent I had. He tested positive for steroids. Then I fought Jordan Wright on a 3 days notice. Hey, man, it is what it is, man. Shake it off, and I know I'm better than what I showed, and I got to show that Wednesday night, man. So, like I said, 2020, man, flush that, man. Let's bounce back 2021 and start the year off right.
Yeah, how does it feel to have, a full camp, being at 205 against an opponent who is, he's on a downslide at the minute? How do you feel coming into this one?
Oh, man, I felt great, man. My manager, Jason House, man, he's amazing. So he hit me up with this fight back in October. To have a full fight camp, really, it's been amazing because you don't get that opportunity during the COVID era. Hey, man, you get 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you got to fight. But man, I had a full camp. I'm very excited for it, man, to show what I can do, man. I didn't get the chance to go to Extreme Couture this fight, so I had to stay back home in Houston with Coach Bob Perez at Main Street Boxing and 4 Ounce Fight Club with Daniel Pineda. But they brought some big guys in to train with me, so I'm excited. I got to show, what I can do Wednesday night.
And on fight night, is the game plan to go out there and try and finish this one quick? Because I know coming into the UFC, you had a run of first-round knockouts. Obviously, Vinicius has lost a few times on the bounce by first-round KO as well. So how do you see this one playing out?
Oh, no doubt, man. It's right up my alley, man. That's it. I put on a show, get them out of there quick, man. Everybody's here to put on the show. Abu Dhabi, they want to see crowd pleasing fight, man. So I ain't gonna bore them. I'm gonna put my hands in his face and get him out of there quick, and that's the goal. So hey, let's see what he can do, man. The hurricane's coming.
Okay, good luck with it. Thanks for asking me questions.
Thank you, brother.
We'll take our final set of questions from Corey with UFC.com.
Okay,
all right, brother.
Can you just go look in the camera?
Yes, sir. Right.
So, coming off these 2 losses in a row, would you say that puts any added pressure on you to go out there and make a big statement on Wednesday night?
Oh, man, no doubt, man. From Texas, man, hard-hitting Mexican. We do everything the hard way. So, hey, shit, man, I got to come out. Pressure's on me, man. It's my game 7. But give me the ball. I got the ball. I got a chance to make some plays, man. So here we go, man. Here's my shot, and I'm going to show the world I belong here. And, hey, man, let's make a statement.
I know you said that you're hoping to go out there and finish him quick, but what type of fight are you expecting?
A lot of guys, he'll come out. He wants to push the guy to the fence, man. So I think he's gonna come out. He's gonna try to pressure me. He's gonna try to take center of the cage. I think he's pulling guard. If he feels my pressure, I think he's gonna pull guard because obviously the takedowns didn't work the past couple fights on him getting the guys to the ground. So he might pull guard, and we're expecting that. Hey, wherever it goes, man, my job is to put my hands in his face and just keep him busy, man. Just he's tended to the boxing part, man. So he's real and like Frankenstein style. That's the style, man. So I just gotta put my hands in his face and use my boxing and make it a rough night for him.
I know you said you got a full training camp this time. What would you say is the most significant thing that you took away from camp?
Oh man, just getting that fire back, really got something to prove here, man. It's just been amazing. The camp back home, everybody back home, man. Just really pushing me. Coaches, telling me, hey man, time to make a statement. You belong here and show the world, man. But having a full fight camp is motivating. Long nights, man, missing time away from my family, but that's what fuels me to do what I do. So I'm excited to put on a show and make everybody proud back home.
I know you fought in inners with no fans, and now we're going back to having something that's going to be. How do you think that's going to play out?
Yeah, for me, man, I feed off the crowd, man. That's my excitement, coming out, seeing the crowd, getting the crowd jumping. For some fighters with anxiety, they can't deal with the fans, and they like to lay back home in Vegas with no crowd. I mean, it bothers me. I can't do that. Be in a room just a couple with the announcers. That's not the style of fight. It's like a sparring match almost, like you going to the gym. You got to perform, no excuses. But man, you get the crowd there, you get the walkout music, man. I hit that switch better. So it's something I'm getting adjusted to. But the crowd coming back, man, I look forward to it, man. I'm excited for this opportunity, especially with the crowd.
That's a nice segue. My last question. Once you hear your music start, you're about to make that walk. What do you think is going to go through your head before you get to go?
Years of hard work, everything, all the doubters, all the naysayers, all my keyboard warriors on Twitter just talking bad about my career in 2020. I'm gonna flush that all down the drain come Wednesday night and just leave them speechless and show them I belong here, man. Because I got to make a statement, and it's my time to shine. And it's crazy. Had to come all the way across the world to get my first win. And I'm gonna get it Wednesday night.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody. Thanks. All right, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Perfect.
Up next, we'll be joined by number 8 ranked UFC Women's Flyweight Roxanne Modafferi. We are now joined by number 8 ranked UFC Women's Flyweight Roxanne Modafferi, and we'll take our first set of questions from Jay Anderson with K-Type Press.
Hey, Roxy, good to talk to you again.
Hello.
Excuse me. Since we did just talk, I'm not going to take too much of your time up. I'll let some of the other journalists get some questions in, but just a couple of follow-up questions that I have had. When we spoke, you mentioned that you weren't a huge fan of having the fight pulled forward because of the travel, changes up your fight week routine. I'm just curious now that you're in Abu Dhabi, how the experience has been and how you're feeling.
The flight was great. My first experience with business class. The hotel's very nice. The staff are very nice. And my routine is totally thrown off and it's not the best, but I'm excited and honored to be here and I'm going to do my job. Us.
Well, good to hear you're saying positive. There's another question that I had for you, and it's, a couple of media outlets listed your win over Macy Barber back at the start of last year as the upset of the year or in the running for the upset of the year. And I'm just wondering if you find that, people still kind of overlook you even at this point in your career, or if you actually take that as an honor to be, in that category.
So people are congratulating me on getting upset of the year for various websites. And I'm like, yay, you all thought I was going to lose. Cool. It's okay. But I also to this day still get people thanking me heartily for winning them lots of money. So that's cool. So I'm cool with being the underdog. It's better for my friends to make money off of me. So no problem.
Good stuff. And last one for me, just how exciting is it to have fans back in the building on Wednesday? I know it's not going to be a full house, but there will be a crowd.
That's cool. That's great. I didn't have an opinion on that for a long time, and now I've decided that I do like the fans. So I'll be excited for that.
All right. Well, best of luck next week.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Ezekiel Berganzi with Summers MMA.
Hello, Roxanne. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
How did you start this year?
I'm starting this year with hard training and a great fight and positivity.
And are you changing some aspects of your fighting game from the last year to this one? Are we going to see something new from the Happy Warrior?
You will see evolution because I've been training a lot with John Wood and he's fixing little things from my striking. I'm also doing a lot of wrestling with guns, one of the assistant coaches at Syndicate, and a lot of different styles of strength and conditioning with Lorenzo, my trainer.
And what do you think about your rival? What aspects of her game makes her a dangerous opponent? And what things do you have that you can use to beat her? Like, what are your advantages and what do you think that she has to make you put in a dangerous position?
Yes, I think Viviane is very dangerous. I think she's quick and strong and good at defending takedowns, but I have great game plans and I'm excited to see how I match up against her. I'm going to go to my strengths and maybe even surprise you guys.
And my final question, what is your bucket list for this year?
My bucket list is to win all of my fights, fight a lot, and maybe get a KO or a TKO this year.
Thank you and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA.
Hi, Roxy. I just want to ask you about your UFC record because since you've, come to the organisation, it's been win one, lose one, and you're coming off the back of a win. So is that a streak you kind of looking to snap in this fight? Or is it something you're aware of?
I mean, it's a very pretty different color record. But no, yeah, I would like to go on a winning streak for sure. It'd be a great.
Are things like that something you pay attention to, or is that just something for, people like myself to, pick up on?
I mean, yeah, I try not to worry about it. It's very disappointing to lose. It hurts my soul. So I just want to keep winning, keep fighting, and keep doing awesome things.
And if you keep winning, big things will come. So you're someone who's been in the game for so long. What's left for you to achieve? What are your goals and aspirations for 2021 and beyond?
One of my not main goals. One of my goals is to get a KO victory at some point. I just want to fight new people and keep climbing the rankings and maybe get a title shot, but I'm really not trying to worry about that. I just want to keep winning and keep improving.
And where does a win over Viviane put you in terms of a potential title shot in the division? She thinks beating you maybe puts her towards the top 5. Do you think that's something similar for yourself?
That's up to the people who decide the rankings, but maybe I'll call out the title holder and see what happens.
Okay, good luck with the fight. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take our final set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, Roxanne. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I heard you're in the process of moving, and you talked about the move up in your fight date in terms of your training, but I was wondering, would you have preferred to fight in Vegas so you could just go right back home and finish the process over there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. But try not to worry about it.
I read about this, and I wanted to ask you about it, that you use the Cryo Helmet. I mean, just for people who don't know, what is it and how does this work?
Oh man, it's helped me so much. So the Cryo Helmet is cryohelmet.com. Thank you so much for your product. It's like a fabric helmet with inlaid ice packs, and I leave it in my freezer. And then when I go to the gym, I bring it in like a carry case that's frozen. So after training or even in the middle, if I get hit in the head, I put it on and it ices my head basically. Also, not just cooling the head down, it lowers your body temperature. And if you see people put ice on the back of the neck in between rounds, it kind of does that. It shocks your nervous system and it makes you clear-headed. So the Cryo Helmet helps with that, inflammation, also headaches. The average person, if they have migraines, it helps with that. So it's been like such a boon to me throughout my training over the number of years. It's helped a lot with concussion symptoms. I used to have some issues like several years ago. Not anymore, thank goodness. I'm very careful now. But yeah, Cryo Helmet.
Can I ask, for people when they Google it, they're going to see it looks quite different. How did you, I guess, first get introduced to it? Who said, hey, Roxanne, this might be a good idea for you?
One of my sponsorship managers found it for me when I was in Invicta. So they sponsored me for a few of my Invicta fights. I just kept the relationship.
My final question, being on Fight Island, a lot of people, talk about the mystique of it, and obviously it's been very hyped up by the promotion. Is there anything you're looking to try to take with you as a souvenir? Have you been looking around the W for anything, a gift shop? What do you do when you're on Fight Island?
Mortal Kombat! Mysterious Island, go to battle. No, I don't know. There's really no gift shop. I bought a magnet. That's like all there is. So I can't leave the hotel and just ready to do my Mortal Kombat. It'll be awesome.
Good luck, Roxanne. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you today, Roxanne. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Up next, we'll be joined by Lerone Murphy, UFC. We are now joined by UFC featherweight Lerone Murphy, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So Lerone, back on Fight Island, I want to ask, how has the experience of your first trip in July helped you with everything for Fight Week this time around?
Oh, it's just prepared me. I knew what to expect coming over here with the quarantines and stuff like that. So, like nothing's new to me now.
You know, some undefeated fighters talk about how the pressure goes up the longer the win streak gets. Do you feel the same and that that's true, or are the nerves just all the same no matter what because you obviously want to win every fight?
Exactly. For me, it's just you just take every fight as it comes, and I want to win every fight. Every fight's big. Every fight's a big fight. So I'm not really bothered about records and stuff. I just go in there and just do me.
My final question, just what are your thoughts on Douglas as an opponent and how this fight is going to play out?
He's a solid opponent. He's had 30 pro fights, which is nearly 3 times the amount I've had. He's been in there with some of the best guys, Peter Yan, Rob Font, all them guys are like top 5 fighters. So I know it's going to be a tough fight, but we've trained hard and we're ready to go.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. How are you feeling about having the fans back on Fight Island?
I don't know. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it actually. I don't know how many fans there's going to be or whatever, but I'm excited for it. It feels like I've not fought in front of fans for 10 years or something, man.
And I just want to ask you about your goals for 2021. Obviously, you're a newcomer to the UFC. You made an impression with your last fight. But by the end of the year, where do you want to be? Do you set out goals like that?
So yeah, I've set out goals, but obviously as the world's going at the minute, you can't really predict anything. But in the perfect world, I want to have 4 fights this year and hopefully push for the top 15 and back end of the year.
And you mentioned what you make of Douglas as an opponent. Do you think you're kind of, jumping a few steps here? Because Douglas was on before and through his translator, he seemed a bit, almost disrespected by the UFC, getting up match with a guy like yourself who's brand new and he's fought all these guys, as you said.
We'll see, won't we, on fight night? I believe my skill set matches up well, so we'll see on fight night. I've gone into the last 2 fights the underdog as well, so we'll see.
And on fight night, he said he's coming for the knockout. How do you see the fight playing out? Is that what you're looking for as well?
We're both coming for the knockout, so it'll be a good fight. Let's see who gets it.
It really should be. Thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our final set of questions from Corey with UFC.com.
Hey, hold on, Corey.
Yeah.
Can I just have you still look in the camera, though?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I saw you post on Twitter asking what men actually like to cut weight. How's your camp and how's the weight cut going?
Well, camp's been good, but I'm a man that loves food, so when it comes to cutting weight, it's a horrible week for me.
Understandable. Douglas said earlier that it does give him some motivation knowing he can hand you your first loss. Just trying to keep that undefeated record put any added pressure on you?
There's no added pressure for me. I'm just going in there and fighting. I'm just going in there, doing what I do, and whatever result happens. Trained my heart out for this, and I fight my heart out in there. So the rest is in hands.
And what kind of fight are you expecting on Wednesday night?
A war. I feel like it's going to be a war. He's tough. He comes forward, and so do I. So we're going to clash.
And then lastly for me, what would you say is the most significant thing that you've taken away from camp?
This camp? No.
Yes.
Just having to work around things and stuff, because usually I go to other gyms and train. Obviously, I've not been able to do that because of this pandemic and stuff. We've had to get bodies in and stuff, but it's all the same thing. As long as you got your pad man and you're getting the sparring rounds, it's all good.
All right, Ron, thank you so much. Good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Up next, we will be joined by number 8 ranked UFC welterweight Michael Chiesa. We're now joined by number 8 ranked UFC welterweight Michael Chiesa, and we'll take our first set of questions from Gabriel Gonzalez with Stateside Press.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. I wanted to ask you, I heard your interview where you spoke that, your ultimate goal is being a commentator and how you've grown as an analyst. My question, what are you most proud of about how you've grown with your skills on camera?
Just my ability to deliver the facts and my points of view. I mean, that can be very hard to articulate. The things that you've studied and the things you want to say can be very hard to articulate when you have a camera in your face and somebody talking to you through an earpiece. So my ability to articulate and say the things I want to say and deliver them the way that I want them to be heard, I'm very proud of that. But don't be mistaken, my ultimate goal is not commentary. My ultimate goal is to become a world champion. I think the commentary thing is going to happen along that path. So but yeah, just my ability to be comfortable and articulate the things I want to say is something I'm very proud of.
Gotcha. With all of the hospitality on Fight Island, does it feel like you're on vacation, or do you still get the same level of nerves like a typical fight week where you don't get all of the writing on the hotel, mirror and everything?
No, this feels like a fight week, and when I was here back in October, I came here and I got a feel for how Fight Island was, and I definitely envisioned myself fighting here, and I'm glad that I'm getting the opportunity to do that. It feels right, it feels good, and it's great to have like my teammates along for the ride. But yeah, it definitely feels like a fight week. Is luxurious as this place is, and the amenities that it has to offer. Even though we're cooped up in this hotel, I mean, this hotel is world class. They're taking great care of us. They put this, they did this cool like chocolate setup they made like a chocolate me and a chocolate Magny and a chocolate Octagon and stuff. And they set it up in your room, and the writing's on the mirror. It's so great. You know what I mean? But I know I have a job to do. I'm very focused on the task at hand.
Going back a little bit to the broadcast side of things, after the fight, are you planning to stick around and do some work for the McGregor fight, or are you going to be going right home?
They don't have me doing any work for the McGregor fight. I'm going to be headed straight home. It's been a good camp. I'm eager to get home. I want to get this win, and I want to go back and see my family. But if duty calls, if they needed me, I didn't bring a suit, so they would just have to go bring in a tailor and get me a suit. So you never know. This is the year of opportunity in the mixed martial arts world, or this is the era of opportunity in the mixed martial arts world. So if someone falls off, someone gets COVID, they need someone to step in, work the desk. They just got to give me a tailor and give me a suit. I'd jump in there, but I have plans on going home after I win this fight.
Final question. You said you don't expect it to look pretty against Neil Magny, but when you get out there, how are you going to get the job done?
Just going to get the job done by just executing everything I've done in my training. If I do that, I have a very clear path to victory, and I have a lot of skills to showcase. I have a lot of tools a lot of tools in my arsenal. So it's just all about stay focused and just execute. And I think I should have it should be smooth sailing. It won't be pretty, but I'll get the job done. I mean, it's hard to look good against a guy like Neil Magny. I mean, he's super tough. He's super durable. He's well-rounded. You know what I mean? So you can't expect to go have a highlight reel performance against a guy that's as skilled as he is. So, I'm prepared to walk through the fire. I know what kind of pressure he brings, but pressure makes diamonds. And I know I have what it takes to beat this guy.
Hey, thank you, Michael, and good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Sumit Data with Sportskeeda.
Hey Mike, good to see you back again. I'm starting to assume you've become quite a regular on the Fight Island by this point. Could you tell us a little bit about your overall experience out there so far?
I love it, man. The W Hotel is like becoming my second home, and I'm not mad about it. It's awesome here. I love being out here on Fight Island. I love the energy. I love the environment. The hospitality here is great. And Abu Dhabi is got a special place in my heart at this point. I've spent, in the last 12 months, this is my third time coming to Abu Dhabi, second time coming to Fight Island. And, this place has grown on me. It's got a special place in my heart, and I enjoy coming back here. I hope that I'm excited for the world to get back to normal, to where we can have fans all around the world in all the arenas and all the different countries. I'm looking forward to that. But until that day comes, I will happily oblige to come out here to Fight Island, whether it's to work the desk as an analyst or to compete. I will happily come out here. You will not have to twist my arm. I love it here.
Now, you've worked as an analyst on this place before as well. Is there any significant difference that you possibly feel when you visit the island as an analyst and now as a fighter, of course?
No, I'm actually enjoying it fairly the same. I mean, the hummus at this hotel is great. The food is awesome. So there's certain things I can't enjoy right now because I got to focus on the fight. But, when I came here the first time back in October, I definitely, once I got here and got a feel for the environment, I was like, I could see myself having a fight week here. This is a place I want to compete. And I'm glad it came to fruition. I'm glad I'm out here, getting ready for the biggest fight of my life. It feels very right. It's good to be out here. Good to be out here having a fight week. Just can't enjoy. It's really the only thing I can't enjoy is the food, which the food is good. But once I win this fight on the 20th, I can eat all the food I want. It'll taste that much sweeter when I get to eat it coming off a win. So that's really the only thing that I can't really partake in. But other than that, it's business as usual.
So speaking of the 20th, initially you and Neil Magny were set to co-main event this card, but of course then Khamzat Chimaev and Leon Edwards was supposed to be the main event. Now, you've sort of had it back and forth with Chimaev in the past. We've seen the clips. Do you feel that it is kind of disrespectful to you and Magny to initially being booked as the co-main event over someone who is ranked below than you?
Well, there's a missing part to that question, Leon Edwards. I don't look at Leon Edwards. I don't look at Hamza as the reason why that was the main event. Me and Neil were. I look at it the fact that it was Leon Edwards. That's a guy who's on a tremendous win streak, a guy that arguably should be in a title fight. So I don't look at it like disrespectful, like, oh, Hamzat's in a main event and we're not. It's like, well, it's not disrespectful to me because Hamzat's fighting Leon Edwards, and that's the guy that, in my opinion, is the number one contender. So no disrespect at all. You know what I mean? It just so happens that Leon's person he got matched up against was Khamzat Chimaev. So, and there was no bickering or back and forth anything between me and Chimaev. We met each other coming off an elevator. Super nice guy, and DC being the instigator he is, was like, oh, you guys are in the same weight class, you should fight. And then we took those videos. It was fun. He's a good guy, but no disrespect for the fact that Chimaev was in the main event and me and Neil were the co-main. And I think they also did it for a reason. I think also maybe they put us in the co-main in case something happened to that main event. And it held true. It's just the only difference is one of us didn't get plucked from the co-main event. We got pushed to the top. So it kind of worked out for the best.
So speaking of the fight, of your fight, personally, what are your thoughts on this matchup and your thoughts on Neil Magny as an opponent?
He's an awesome guy. He's a tough competitor, very well-rounded, very skilled, very well-conditioned, comes from a good team. We've been kind of eyeing each other for a while. I mean, he's called me out after he's won fights. I've called him out after I've won fights. So it's just a fight that makes sense. I mean, I wanted to fight a higher-ranked guy after I beat RDA. And, COVID hits, the world gets put on pause. I have surgery, guys start fighting. And then once I was cleared and able to come back, he was the highest ranked guy. And it just made sense. I think that him and I were on a collision course to fight sooner or later. And no better time than now. We're both in our prime. We're both neck and neck in the rankings. So this is a good time for us to compete against each other and may the best man win.
Well, I look forward to a fight midweek and good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll take our next questions from Ezekiel Bergazzi with Summers MMA.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
Good.
It's been a year since you last fought against RDA. So how was adapting to these unique circumstances for this fight against Neil Magny?
It really just boils down to preparation. I was able to address some injuries I had, and and now I'm healthier than I was before that fight. So it took a long camp, a lot of preparation, a lot of rounds, a lot of reps, and I'm ready to go. So the layoff will not be an issue. I'm not one of these guys. I don't believe in ring rust. I think that's a mental thing. So I'll be firing on all cylinders on the 20th.
And you said a couple of days ago that Neil Magny is a very well, you said recently that Neil Magny is a very well-rounded opponent, and you are going to take advantage of some aspect of your game that you think that you can, put over the edge against him. So which aspect do you think that you are better than him?
Well, I'm very confident in my ground skills, but that doesn't mean that that's going to be the only thing I'm relying on this fight. I have a full arsenal of tools that I can use in any mixed martial arts contest. So, I'm really just focused. I have a game plan. I have things set that we want to do. I feel like I have a clear path to victory, and it's just all about execution. So, I think I know I have the tools to beat this guy. So it's just all about staying focused and staying the course and execution.
Do you think that beating Neil Magny will put you on the top 5 on the welterweight division?
Yeah, I believe it will. I believe it'll get me or whoever wins, may the best man win. I believe it'll get one of us into the top 5. And it would be criminal for the winner not to be into the top 5. But I'm not focused on that stuff right now. I really just want to be focused on this fight and this fight only. And that's very important for me, this fight, is just be focused on Neil Magny, not be worried about what comes next, just be focused on what I got to do on the 20th.
And my last question is, did your job as an MMA analyst help you in your fighting game, like in the way you see yourself fighting, the way you comment or the way you articulate your knowledge about this sport? Did it help you at the time you need to step in the octagon?
Yeah, it definitely helps you. I mean, when my life revolves around this sport already. So when I have this new job that requires me to study fights and do it in a way that I hadn't done before, it helps sharpen my mind. So it definitely benefits me to be working as an analyst and analyzing these fights from a different perspective. It definitely is a beneficial thing for me going forward, especially when it comes to preparing for a fight and watching film and breaking guys down. It's definitely beneficial. And, it's my first fight after working as an analyst for so long. So got to prove it.
Thank you, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
We'll take our next set of questions from Jay Anderson with Stateside Press.
Mike, welcome back. Appreciate the time today. I want to go back, first of all, to that start you had in the welterweight division where you rattle off 3 wins, you're on this big head of steam, and then the pandemic hits and you need surgery. I mean, how frustrating was it to be on the sidelines and watch a guy like Gilbert Burns take advantage of the, like you call it, the era of opportunity, knowing that potentially you could have been in that spot?
It was very frustrating. It wasn't even really... good for Gilbert Burns. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he was able to capitalize on what was going on and take these fights and perform well and get himself in the position that he's in because he deserves it. He's an awesome fighter. And, there was no frustration. It was just I was more, as simple as it sounds, I was just sad. You know what I mean? Like the pandemic hits and, I have surgery and I'm just kind of at a standstill. I wasn't super frustrated. I was just kind of sad. I was just in a rut, you know what I mean? And I kind of felt like the sport was like starting to pass me by a little bit. And I was having these very weird thoughts, but I think that just everybody around the world is having weird thoughts when you're stuck at home and you can't do your job. You can start to think some weird things. So, I was just kind of more in a saddened state than I was frustrated, but, I was able to pull out of that and I can thank the UFC for that because it was honestly getting the surgery, starting to recover, and mainly getting the opportunity to work as an analyst got me back in the game, got me back in the sport, and just kind of got me out of those dark days. You know what I mean? It's like gave me a purpose again, So, it was trying times for everybody around the world. But, I wasn't frustrated that guys like Gilbert Burns were able to make it happen and seize these opportunities and make the most of them. So I was just more kind of bummed, really, really bummed.
When you talk about like dark days and weird thoughts, were you kind of questioning whether or not you'd be able to make it back either because of, the injury or just the craziness in the world?
It was the injury. the surgery didn't go great at all. What I was told is it was going to be a half hour to a 45-minute procedure, and it turned out to be 6.5 hours. My leg was just humongous, black and blue from my butt cheek down to my foot. My leg was black. It was a lot of trauma. And, even when the trauma started to go down, having mobility issues, just a laundry list of problems I was having. There was no question that I would ever if I would ever be able to compete again. It was just the when. It was like, how long is it going to be before I can, my leg is good enough to come back and get back to competition. And, fortunately it came around, and I'm healthier than I've ever been. I mean, it's such a cliche thing to say, I have the best camp of my life. Like, everybody says that. Every time you prepare for a fight, you feel like you had the best camp of your life. But I can honestly say this is the healthiest I've been. This is the healthiest I've been going into a fight. This is a lingering injury I needed to address a long time ago. We're talking over 10 years ago. And it just kept getting worse and worse. So to have that done and behind me, I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight.
Well, it's good to have you back. And the way it's worked out, this is your first main event since 2017 when you fought Kevin Lee. Obviously a different weight class, but how different is your mindset coming into this main event from that one, years ago?
Well, I mean, we all saw what the buildup for that fight was like. So just that alone is a 9-day difference from that main event to this one. And, it's a lot less stress. Those cuts to 155 were very stressful, a lot of stress on the mind, a lot of stress on the body, very stressful for my team. Where now it's so much more focused on the fight, and it's just the way it should be. And knowing that if they potentially go 2 extra rounds, I don't know if my body could have sustained that at 155 pounds. I don't know how that would have played out. But being in this weight class, I'm able to push my body more in my training. I'm able to absorb knowledge more. And, I think that it's just more of a maturing process physically and mentally. So I'm in a better state physically and mentally than I was in 2017. I'm more than prepared to get this win on the 20. So it's definitely 9-day difference in the preparation and the buildup. But I think the biggest thing is the maturity. I'm a lot more mature than I was back then.
In terms of training, I mean, you called it the era of opportunity. The flip side is it might be the era of uncertainty in terms of fights falling through, opponents dropping out. We almost had the little scare with Khamzat, maybe Neil's going to go up. Does that do anything to how you prepared? You turn the focus inward more, knowing that you might not end up fighting who you were scheduled to.
Well, the good thing is, the landscape of this fight card, knowing that initially I'm the co-main event against Neil Magny, and the main event's Leon Edwards and Khamzat Chimaev. And just on that note, you saying it's also the era of uncertainty. It's like the way me and my coach broke it down. It's like, if Neil any way this fight, in terms of preparation between the 4 of us, between me, Neil, Khamzat, and Leon, it's like, I'm going to prepare for Neil Magny. But if something happens and this fight gets shuffled on short notice, there's not a stark difference in how I would prepare differently if I got matched up with either 3 of those guys. I feel like my preparation would be fairly the same. So granted, there's a big level of uncertainty, especially when the verbal agreements were made for this fight. I was told hey, potentially, Neil might have to fill in if something happens to this main event, so the news breaks. I'm thinking I'm going to lose the Magny fight. But I feel like however these fights could have panned out, if things fell through or whatever this COVID has done to these matchups and these fight cards, I feel like between the main and co-main, my preparation wouldn't have been any different had I had to fight either guy. So I was kind of ready to fight whoever I would have had to. And I'm glad it panned out the way it did. I mean, it couldn't have worked out any better. I got to keep my opponent, and now we're in the main event. And I'm glad that this fell more to the side of opportunity than uncertainty.
Fair enough. And last one for me, like you said, the belt is the ultimate goal. Where does a win over Neil Magny put you in that conversation? Because it would make you 4 in a row undefeated at welterweight in the UFC.
Well, just off the top of my head, it's like, how would it not put me in the top 5? I think whoever wins this fight goes on to the top 5, but I'm not focusing on that. I'm usually a guy that's got an opponent in mind, if I'm going to call somebody out after I win. But I just put that to the wayside. I'm focused on Neil Magny and Neil Magny only. And I think that's the best move. That's the best way to move forward through this camp, through this preparation, is to not be thinking about the next guy. Just be focused on the task at hand. So I'm not even really thinking about what comes next after this fight. I'm focused on what I got to do on the 20th. And I think that that's very important.
All right. Well, best of luck on a rare Wednesday fight.
Thank you.
We'll take our last set of questions from Jordan Ellis with Low Kick MMA.
Hi, Mike. I just want to ask you about your experience of, being an analyst and covering these fights with no fans. Did that make you kind of curious to fight with no fans? Obviously, they're back this weekend. How do you feel about that?
It really wouldn't have made a difference, honestly. I was on The Ultimate Fighter for 3 months. I fought in the tough gym with minimal amount of people. So it didn't really, it wasn't something that really stuck out in my mind. And granted, I know that we're going to have fans in attendance on the 20th, but that's an 18,000 person arena. And to my understanding, they're only putting a couple thousand in, and they're very spaced out. So I think it'll almost have, I worked the desk in the Flash Forum, and it was like a much smaller arena. And I feel like being in the new arena with a small amount of people and such a big amount of space, I feel like it's going to feel more empty than the Flash Forum did. So nonetheless, it's not something that I really put too much thought into, whether there's 18,000 people filling all the seats or there's nobody there. A fight's a fight, and I'm going to be focused no matter what.
And just on your opponent, Magny, obviously you said this is the biggest fight of your career. It's a headline, and it potentially takes you into the top 5. But in terms of ability and the fighters you faced throughout your career, where do you rank Neil?
Skill-wise, he's one of the best. He's very well-rounded. Second in all-time wins at welterweight, and that speaks volumes for how good this guy is. He's beat a lot of really good guys. He's been in there with some of the best. Beat Kelvin Gastelum. He beat Robbie Lawler. He's beat a lot of really good guys. So, he's a formidable opponent. He's very well-rounded. He comes from a good camp. He presents a very stiff challenge. So, but that doesn't mean that I'm not the man fit for the job. So I believe I have the tools to get the job done and get the win on the 20th. So, I just got to go out there and execute, and I believe I'll get my hand raised.
Yeah, and you said earlier that the ultimate goal is to become champion. And what steps do you take to kind of avoid the side gig of being an analyst? Kind of hampering that goal ultimately, because we've seen Anthony Smith kind of say he felt he let it become a distraction. How do you avoid it being a distraction?
Well, the difference, I was just talking about this a little bit ago. The UFC wouldn't put us in positions that would compromise our fighting careers, because fighting is what's most important. So that's a personal thing. You have the decision to take this job or not. But for me, I don't have. I have a fiance, but I don't have kids at home. I don't have a lot of other things. I have just this sport. I have fighting, and that's it. I don't have a side business. I don't have a second job. Like my job has been fighting for 9 years. So for me to take on the role as an analyst, it offers no hindrance or it's no interference on my career. And I believe it's beneficial for me. I watch fights nonstop all the time as it is. If I'm bored and I have free time, I'll turn on old fights all the time. Just for fun, just because that's what I like to do. And the difference is now I get paid to do it. So, how could that be compromising for my career at all? And, and it's not like, I haven't worked any shows through this camp. It's never interfered with my training. It's like, I've worked as an analyst during this pandemic. And so I've been going to Las Vegas a bunch. I train in Las Vegas a lot. The UFC PI is right there. So every single day I'm able to go work out. I'm able to go train. And even if I was on the road at different shows all around the world, there's different training partners, different coaches, and different opportunities to train with different people and get different looks at all these events. So I think it just depends on the person, but it depends on the person. For me, it's no hindrance. It's so benefit to me. I look at it as it's very beneficial. And I don't think any guy the guys that are committed to it wouldn't do it if it was going to hamper their fighting career.
Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you for your time. Good luck with fight night.
Thanks, sir.
God, I'm not. Today, Michael. Thank you. This concludes the UFC Fight Night Kiesa versus Magny virtual media day. We would like